the economic collapse of 2008, 340,000 Americans lost their jobs and 7 U.S. cities filed for bankruptcy. But if our economy didn't take a nosedive, we wouldn't have legalized marijuana for recreational use in 2 states. Thanks, disaster! Weed was largely legal in the U.S. prior to the Marijuana Tax Act of 1937. Now, that doesn't mean that our founding fathers were potheads or that the public at large was even aware of marijuana's medical or recreational uses. Marijuana was so under the radar that Bob Marley wasn't even born until 1945. Despite all of that, the Tax Act was passed largely due to a government campaign that depicted weed smokers as murderers, rapists, and generally uncool, man. And that's largely how the perception stayed, until the cultural changes brought on by the 1960s, which led to the formation of pro-marijuana organizations like the National Organization for the Reform of Marijuana Laws. They worked on changing public perception and were even able to get marijuana legalized for medical use in some states. However, they were unable to make any ground on the old getting high for funsies front until the economic collapse of 2008. The collapse pushed a lot of state and local governments towards bankruptcy and caused an extreme need for cost-cutting and new tax revenue sources, which is why bureaucrats started paying attention to rogue economists like Harvard's Jeffrey Miron. He claimed that legalizing marijuana could not only save the state money, it could also bring them a brand new for-profit industry that they could tax for more cash money, essentially turning our $5.3 billion a year war on marijuana into an endless stream of tax revenue. But the story doesn't end there. Selling marijuana was still a federal crime, and Attorney General Eric Holder was still kicking down the doors of medical marijuana dispensaries and grow farms all across the country. As the number of raids increased, so did the media attention. But because of the economic collapse of 2008, the media wasn't focusing on the raids themselves. They were focusing on the money wasted prosecuting non-violent marijuana criminals. This helped to sway public opinion, leading to President Obama's 2009 federal mandate to only shut down medical marijuana dispensaries, quote, that were operating under violation of state law. And that's how Colorado and Washington were finally able to legalize marijuana for both medical and recreational use without the fear of interference from the federal government. So thanks, Wall Street, you. For more disastrous web shows, please subscribe, and to watch another episode right away, go ahead and click right here. Go ahead, I'll wait.